Okay, this feels so weird to me to be speaking into a lens about what I kind of want to get out of this channel and kind of where I want to go with it. But I feel like that sometimes you see influencers and you see YouTubers and you see bloggers and they don't necessarily share but they don't necessarily share their personal aspects, things that can be actually quite relatable to a lot of people out there who could be watching this, male, female, young, old. Um, I feel like to start my channel off with such a personal and profound message is an aspect that I really, really want to get across to people. My channel isn't going to be about the materialistic aspects. My channel won't be about, buying that $3,000 suit. I want my channel to be about someone who, like me, enjoys watching other people be relatable. Um, I have a very working class background. I don't come from money. I don't come from people who are affluent. I certainly do not come from this fashion designer label background. Yes, I like nice stuff and I work hard, and if I want to be able to afford something, I will go out and get it, but not at the expense of kind of brandishing it on a YouTube channel. So I'm glad you started off like that, and I want to move forward like that. So, my channel today, the opening topic is that of quite a strange one. And, like, I've deliberated this and opening a YouTube channel with kind of, is this a bit too deep to start a channel with? Or will this be too heavy for people to want to watch? But after thinking about it and thinking that, hang on, there's hardly any influencers or YouTubers or bloggers who kind of approach this sort of, if you want to say, danger field of content. Um, and that is something that I really, really want to kind of start brandishing and getting rid of that idea. So today, this channel and this upload is going to be a very personal matter. Um, it's kind of probably one of the first times I have ever opened up like this and to complete strangers. So bear with me as I get through some of the details and some of the heavy content. And I'd love to hear from people down below if you have experienced any of this aspect, or, I'd love to just be able to chat with people about this and kind of set this channel off on the right note, and that I want to be the relatable guy. I want to be that guy on YouTube that doesn't drive an Aston Martin, that isn't wearing a Tom Ford suit, that isn't brandishing Tom Ford, that isn't bragging about my Dior shoes. I want to be that guy that you guys feel like you can chat to on an actual normal level. So, I'm married, and we've been married now for, well, coming up to no, 2 years. I better get that right. 2 years. And we're young adults. We kind of want to live a life. We bought our home together. I'll do a home tour on another video. Um, but like most, we wanted a family. Um, and it was only, I'd say, a year and a half ago that we were really set on this idea that, you know what, we kind of really want to pursue this now. Yes, we're young, and yes, we faced a lot of criticism for getting married young. We both got married early 20s. People were kind of thinking, hang on, you're not even in love yet. You don't even know what love is. But here we are, 2 years later, still happily married, home together, and children. So we wanted to kind of process this idea of, where do I go with this? How many people out there are kind of living this lifestyle? How can we afford children for a start? We both come from a very working class background, but we want to be able to give our kids the biggest and highest upbringing that we possibly can. And it kind of went along the lines of, well, the first time it happened, we kind of didn't expect it. We weren't necessarily trying for a baby, but we kind of just didn't expect that aspect to happen. So we were away. We were actually in Bath. Absolutely stunning, stunning city. Absolutely loved Bath. Just a shout out to the Mercury Hotel in Bath. It was an absolute privilege to be staying with you. Sorry, guys. I'm full up today. And yeah, we kind of went to Bath. We enjoyed our time there. We kind of relaxed. Jamie had been feeling ill for quite some time leading up to that. Not like really badly ill, but kind of sickness and like fatigued, always tired, not really having an appetite. Um, the funniest thing is she could never walk down the fresh meat aisle in a supermarket. She couldn't do that. She couldn't stomach it. She'd start heaving. It was hilarious. But that's something that you women go through, and I honestly, from witnessing it myself as a male, hands off and hands up to you. You deal with that incredibly on a daily basis. But for me, we were out and we were eating at a restaurant in Bath. Kind of just celebrating some time together, alone time. Um, Jamie was so ill, sickness wise, that evening that the next morning, it was a day we were actually returning back home to Wales. She decided to take a pregnancy test. So there's me not thinking anything of it. I didn't even think we'd even be close to being pregnant. We hadn't tried. And that's the stigma. People who are not in that trying for a baby bracket think that it's not kind of going to happen because they're not putting that effort into it. She came out from the bathroom, bam, positive pregnancy test. And it was one of those clear blue pregnancy tests that kind of tell you how many weeks, or they estimate how many weeks you are currently kind of pregnant for. Jamie was 3+ weeks, so we could not work out at this point how many weeks along we actually were. We did not know the accuracy of this information because, like I said, we hadn't really been trying. And if I'm honest with you, neither of us even thought that Jamie would be pregnant. So I burst into tears. Jamie burst into tears. It was so unexpected, but yet, do you know what? It was a aspect that we thought, right, we need to fight this head on. We have kind of wanted this. Subconsciously, we both have wanted a child, but we just didn't think it'd happen as quickly and as unexpectedly as that. So we kind of went on. We went home. The constant topic of conversation that day was, oh my god, we're pregnant. How the hell have we managed this for a start? But also, what happens now? You never taught like what happens now. No one really knows the kind of structure and the process you should be going along with. So we kind of went straight for Sunday lunch. It was at Sunday, I remember that. We went straight to a local pub, had Sunday lunch, and kind of just sat there not really addressing the topic. We didn't really know where to go with it or where to take it. And still, we were both still in shock. Only a few hours earlier we discovered that we're going to be potential mum and dad. So at this point, we're kind of thinking, shit. Basically, that was literally the first thing that came to my head was, shit. How do we process this now? We went home, kind of just talked about it for ages and ages and ages, and we were like, right, we obviously need to contact a GP. Jamie is epileptic, so she is on medication for that daily. She doesn't suffer from seizures regularly or anything like that. It doesn't really affect her daily life, but she is on medication. So we thought, right, we need as a priority to get to the doctors, get to a GP, to firstly discuss the fact that we are expecting, but also Jamie's intense morning sickness, which kind of just carried out throughout the day. It would be in waves where she would literally be on her hands and knees in a bathroom, to not having any appetite, to constantly feeling fatigued and lethargic, and she just couldn't live her daily life. So we went to the doctors. Everything was confirmed. Jamie was pregnant. She was healthy. Blood tests, counts, everything came back normal and everything came back positively. So we're thinking, right, we need to start kicking ourselves into gear. Created an appointment with the midwife. She came out to visit us, kind of discussed backgrounds with both of us. Said that everything was fine. Blood pressure levels were fine. Blood count levels were fine. We were kind of just getting to that aspect of still letting it sink in that we myself and Jamie were going to be a mother and a father. It's something that I never I never had envisioned at this moment in my life. Something I've always wanted, but it just kind of struck me from out of nowhere. So we had the meetings with the midwives. We kind of sorted all that out, and then we had to book our initial dating scan. Now, because we weren't sure how far along Jamie was, so we went to our local hospital. We had an appointment, got seen for an early detection scan, just to basically kind of clarify to us that yes, you are this amount of weeks. This will be your potential due date. Just kind of checking on, again, blood tests. Is Jamie okay? Is everything progressing fine? Walking into that hospital and walking into that room and seeing all these expectant mother, fathers, young, old, people who are already parents, their children were there running about the room, was such an intimidating experience. Like, I can't even describe like how intimidating it felt. You walk in, instantly all eyes are on you. People are instantly looking at the female, looking to see if she has a bump, looking to see if we're both happy, probably judging to see if I'm even the dad. And we were literally sat in a square, and myself and Jamie were facing another young couple who you could clearly tell was heavily pregnant, whereas me and Jamie didn't have a clue how many weeks along we were at this point. So we were still blindsided by the whole aspect. We saw couples go in, we saw couples come out, beaming smiles on their faces, and we were ready. Like, we were ready to get in this room now. We just wanted to get it in there, see our little baby on the screen, and kind of just be told everything was okay. So you walk into the room. I mean, many of you might be watching this, have obviously had this experience, so I don't mean to patronize or explain kind of what happens in the process. But for people who have never experienced this yet, we were called into the room. I was told to sit. Jamie was told to lie on the bed. We were just asked some questions to begin with. How is everything? How are you feeling? Can you confirm that you don't know the dates of conception, and etc. etc. Well, we confirmed all that. Jamie was then. The machine was booted on. I remember this. The machine was booted on. We were kind of talking amongst ourselves, but obviously extremely nervous because this is our first time. We'd never expected anything. We don't know what to expect. The machine was turned on. Jamie kept glancing over to me. I kept glancing over to her. It was kind of just for reassurance that us as a couple were fine. We were both fine ourselves. And the sonographer just seemed slightly cold, if that's the right word or the right expression. I'm not sure if they're told to be like that or if that's just how they're trained because they don't want to give off any emotion too early in the scan, or get people's hopes up if they were to be an issue. But she felt cold. That's as blunt as I can put it. There was no really emotion there. So there was silence. Like, there was just absolute silence. Jamie is just staring at the screen. I'm staring at the screen, not really sure what's going on and what's happening. The sonographer is kind of pressing around in all these different angles and kind of wanting to understand, or obviously to see the bigger picture. Silence is still profound. There's aspects of I'm thinking in my head, like, is Jamie okay? Like, that's the first thing I thought. That's literally the first thing I thought. Is Jamie okay? Because, has she found something sinister? Like, why is she not telling us anything? Yeah, so, what have they found? Like, is Jamie okay? So, after what seemed like forever, the sonographer kind of just uttered the words, "I'm sorry, but there's no heartbeat." And I was like, what? Like, what? My head was like all over the place. I thought, hang on, we've literally just found out that we're pregnant. We're not sure how far along we've got. We didn't come here to be told this type of news. And it's crazy what your mind does to you in that exact moment, because you're kind of resenting the person who is telling you this information, and you almost think it's some sort of sick joke. You don't want to hear it. You do not want to hear those words. And although we were unprepared to be told that we were pregnant, kind of knowing that what you're seeing on screen is a creation of both of you together. You kind of instantly have this feeling of, well, for me, it was a feeling of instant protection. Um, and then to hear the words, sorry, there's no heartbeat. But it was said just like that. Almost like a knife straight into your back. Sorry, there's no heartbeat. I don't remember my process after that information. I just remember Jamie glancing over to me because literally 5 seconds ago I was looking at the screen smiling because I could see our baby. I could see the baby. Although tiny, you could make out the head, you could make out the body. And I just thought, oh my god, that is ours. That is something that both of us have created and that will never be taken away from us. That is ours. And then to be told all of a sudden that that's no longer yours, it was honestly probably the most devastating words that have ever been uttered to me in my life. And I just remember the nurse telling us that what seems that Jamie had happened or had suffered was something that's called a missed miscarriage, or in other terms, a silent miscarriage. So basically, your body and your hormonal levels are still raised, and your body still thinks that you are carrying a live baby. So it's giving you all the side effects, such as the morning sickness. You are still getting tender breasts. You are still feeling tired and lethargic. Basically, everything that was happening to Jamie would be happening to a female who was pregnant with a healthy baby. It's just on our aspect, the baby wasn't healthy. What they said could have happened, what they're saying would have happened is somewhere along the lines of the baby developing, something just didn't match up. And to remember, it wasn't our fault. Always remember, it's not your fault, they were saying. But when you have something inside of you, I felt completely helpless as the male, I'll be honest. But Jamie blamed herself for this majority of the situation. You know, she blamed herself for what if she had drunk alcohol without realizing that she was pregnant, which we had done because we just didn't know. Or if she'd hit her stomach accidentally. We've got two lively dogs, they jump over us all the time. What if something had happened with one of those? And it's crazy. Your mind is processing all these thoughts. And me as the male, I could just sit there and just tell her that, we'll be fine. Everything will be okay. What can I do? I have no right as the male, or at least in my head, I was thinking I have no right as the male to kind of even interfere in this process. We left that room and we had to walk out in front of all those expectant mother and fathers. We had to walk out and essentially face people who had just been given great news, who were due to give birth in a few weeks. We had to walk out in front of all these healthy children when essentially we had just lost ours. We were ushered into a room in complete private, and we're then greeted by our midwife to tell us that, we will face a few options and this is kind of where it's going to go. And the options are, you can either wait for your body to have a natural miscarriage, so your body just gets rid of any it sounds so cruel to say, but any of the fetus. But that could be it's going to be a delayed response because the body right now doesn't realize that the fetus has died. Or Jamie has the option of taking some tablets which will encourage the womb to contract, so it gets rid of the baby, but it's almost like going into labor, which again is another cruel aspect. Or the third option, which is what we eventually went for, was it's known historically as a D&C, or something called a scrape, which is an awful word to be using for this kind of treatment. But basically, Jamie needs to be put under general anesthetic, and the fetus is removed surgically. So when you wake back up, although she was suffering from heavy bleeding afterwards, kind of it's done, it's over. You can at least try and move on. Fast forwarding then over the Christmas period, because this is right at the beginning of December, December 2018. I went into complete meltdown. I honestly did not know what to do. As the male, we're taught to be this strong, independent support system for our wives, for our other halves. We are the breadwinners. We are consistently told by society that we need to push forward and we need to be the ones who don't show their emotion, who don't talk, who are sometimes not even allowed to talk about these aspects because society is too much afraid of us as the male breaking down the female or our partners. I couldn't cope. I just genuinely could not cope. There was aspects of me who was in denial. Jamie was still getting these symptoms that she was pregnant, and for a split second, I honestly remember thinking, what if they got this wrong? What if they genuinely got this wrong and she was fine all along and it was a mistake? What if they got this wrong? Me, I was questioning someone who is medically trained if they got it wrong. But that's the cruel thing of what your brain does to you in that response. It's almost like a fight and flight response. I kind of went into a complete breakdown because I wasn't sharing how I felt with anyone. I wasn't even really sharing how I felt with Jamie. She knew that I wasn't okay, but I don't think she knew to the extent of how I wasn't okay. I was consistently drinking. I was going out with friends. I was spending money, ludicrously just spending money on things to try and block out my pain. I thought that buying things that I've wanted will just get rid of what I'm actually feeling inside. And I just remember one night, I went out on a complete bender with my mates. I came home to Jamie, who had been looking forward to seeing me all night. Completely paralytic, I'm not going to lie. I was an absolute mess. And kind of just broke down to her and just said that at that exact moment in time, because I hadn't been able to speak about it or felt like I wasn't able to speak about it, that I wanted to end it. I wanted to end it all. I wanted the pain to go away for me, and selfishly, I wanted to take myself out of that situation. And that is all because I felt like I wasn't allowed to talk. Now, feeling like that wasn't necessarily an aspect that was anybody's fault. It's something that myself, had to deal with. I had to learn how to open up. I had to learn how to be honest with people and kind of tell them that, yeah, guys, I'm not okay. There's two of us in this relationship, and not once has anyone asked, how's Dan? How's Dan feeling? And I love Jamie. She's my wife, and yeah, I supported her 100%. But in that exact moment, I just crumbled, and I felt like the weakest person ever. I felt like I'd failed as a husband. I felt like I'd failed as a potential father, and I felt like I'd failed as the support system in our family. All because I just wouldn't speak. I just couldn't tell anybody how I felt. I was too embarrassed, and it's something that us as guys feel. We feel pride. We don't want to look weak to people. Why would we want to look weak? And from that moment, it did kind of scare me. It really scared me because I felt like I all of a sudden now had to be that person who speaks their mind. I have to let Jamie know when something is not right. We're getting through it, and we face days where we do just cry. We face days where we talk about it and what could have been, and we cry. But since then, we unfortunately have suffered a second miscarriage. This time it was a natural miscarriage, but it felt like it's not meant to be for us. In that second moment, it honestly felt like this just is not meant to be. And while that's not the case, what is this hair doing? And while that is completely not the case, there is points where me and Jamie just sit there and we question, what have we ever done to not deserve this family that we want? I'm 26, Jamie's 25, almost 26, and we're just consistently questioning, when will it happen to us? Why is it not happening for us? We see these people daily who are getting pregnant. We see friends from school who have now got 2, 3 children, married happily with a house. And yet, for us, it's kind of been given to us and then cruelly taken away. And the biggest lesson I have learned is to just be grateful for what we have right now and who we have in our lives. And from speaking, it's not all doom and gloom. We have now spoken to a lot of people who have had miscarriages. We have opened up. I have written a blog in regards to the miscarriage story and how it made me feel and why it's so important for men to speak. Men do not speak enough. And young male suicide is at an all-time high because young guys like myself, like some of you guys watching, either have not spoken in the past and it's led to those suicidal, thoughts, or in the worst case possible, suicide itself. But when we have that outlet to be able to speak, and this is exactly why I want this outlet on YouTube, is for us to be able to speak, I honestly feel like it can be a process where we can come together as one and we can actually move forward and kind of help each other, support each other. I think YouTube is a great platform to be able to do that, and I'll link the blog post down below for any of you people who just want to read the story about what happened between me and Jamie, or I just want to check out my blog in general. I do kind of try and run a lifestyle blog, but I feel like right now the video platform format is one of the best aspects for me to be able to speak to you guys. It'd be great if I can hear some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. There's going to be loads of videos coming soon. I just wanted to open on quite a serious topic in this society for young guys. And being a young guy, opening this type of platform for myself, I really hope that, we can encourage, we can grow, we can be better people. And most importantly, we can just talk. Something that I have learned throughout this whole process is that you have to have hope. You have to have hope in general life. It doesn't have to be because of the family, or doesn't have to be because of something serious that has happened to you. But if you hold out hope, oh my God, my mindset changed completely. Myself and Jamie hold out hope every single day, and we hope this can continue. We are consistently on a journey of self-discovery. We're on a journey of planning a family. We definitely still want children. And it's just when the timing is right. It's like a message to us. Perhaps then wasn't the right timing, and somebody somewhere was kind of insinuating that for us. This right now just isn't the right time for you guys, but it will come. And it's hard to think like that, and trust me, I've thought but I want my time to be now. I want my time to be right now. But the time will come. We still hold out hope. We hold out hope every single day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. For a introductory video to my channel, it's actually quite strange. I don't think it's really ever done before. Let me know what you think. Any comments and all comments, that would be great. I'll link a description to my Twitter, to my Instagram feed, and to my blog below. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Cheers, guys.